Hi, guys.
Welcome to the podcast today.
Yes, Obadiah here, thinking about many things. We are going to... I have to fix my hair.
We're getting ready because tomorrow after the show, we're going to be doing a RIOT after show.
Yeah, so I just got to look at myself.
So it involves a camera and setting up and doing all that, but we'll cover that more tomorrow when we can let you know more.
Okay. Wow.
The podcast today?
Yeah, the podcast today, I got a few things for you. We're talking about Justice League. Because that's what this country needs, Nikki. We need justice.
Actually, this has been making the rounds around all the news sites, so people are quite excited about the possibility of it.
So there's that. We're also talking about my big Memorial Day plans. Now, you'll notice a certain tone that Nikki takes as we discuss these plans.
You'll just have to bear with the tone if it's there.
It's fine. See, the tone just made its way into the podcast intro.
No, it didn't. It was just a question. If it's there.
Nikki, this whole thing has been tone.
No, it hasn't.
Tone.
Okay.
You're still in it. You're still in the tone.
I can't get out of it.
I
you
know.
have to just move on
You're
to the next
still in the
thing.
tone. Fine.
What else do we have?
Onions.
Okay.
Big Bass Pro Shop swimmers.
There's an update on someone who jumped in the tank at the pro shop.
Smart hoodies. Breakfast wedding proposals. Free games from Amazon. Hand sanitizer.
Okay.
I don't know how to keep you busy for a while.
If you're a person who puts your hand sanitizer in the car, we've got details on if you should or should not do that.
So real talk, Nikki and I are going to, tomorrow we've got a great show. We're going to be talking to Steven from Anchor and Braille and see how many times I say from Anne Berlin out of habit.
He is from both. And
Yeah.
Anne Berlin's still doing stuff through their Facebook page. So it is what it is. But tomorrow is their New Music Friday, so we'll have a chance to win copies of that if you listen to RadioU, if you listen to us on RadioU.
Yeah. So the other thing we're going to do is play, hopefully, Man-Eater tomorrow after the show. If that doesn't happen, I still have some other games for us to choose from.
We'll do something.
And when this podcast wraps up, Chris and I are going to be testing using an Xbox in this room.
So if you want to find out more, just be ready for any time we do any interviews or something that might be not in the podcast. If you check out RadioU or RadioU Riot, both Facebook pages you should be following, and then you'll get notifications if you set that to show you, and we'll go live doing other special fun events.
All right.
Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
The Riot. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
It's not often that I like to come in here and brag,
But
I remembered something.
you did?
Yeah.
What'd you remember?
Now the question is, can I find it down in this deep abyss of a bag? No, look.
Since you remembered to bring it. Hey, what is that? Is that what we need for tomorrow?
This, Nikki, is the Elgato HD60 Pro S.
Nice.
It is a USB 3.0 HDMI capture device.
Nice.
And with it,
Yes.
you and I can play the video games on the internet.
Nice.
Come on!
So tomorrow we plan to, after the show, we'll be doing an after show where we're playing. Are we doing Man-Eater?
It looks like this. Out there in my car, I have my Xbox.
Yeah.
I'm an Xbox Game Pass owner, and we're going to bring my Xbox in. And if we can download Man-Eater in the morning, we'll play it.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes when it comes to game releases, they'll be like, oh, we ended up releasing it at 5 p.m. Our bad. So, I mean, there's no guarantee that that's a thing.
Sure.
So on the Xbox right now, I have Streets of Rage 4, which I actually think is something you'd really enjoy.
Is it like fighting?
It's a fighting game.
Okay.
But it's like old school fighting games. So like walking down the street, punching punks. So there could be something to that.
Okay.
Then I also have Farming Simulator 17.
Nice.
Don't have a clue how it works, but we sure have talked about it a lot.
And I think that's what you guys, I would prefer that over the fighting game because
Sure.
I feel like people really want to know what one of those simulator games are.
And then what else did I download? I downloaded like 3 or 4 alternates. Oh, Zoo Tycoon. Mm-hmm. That seemed like maybe, it has animals. You like animals.
That could work too. So what you're saying is we have options for tomorrow?
Yeah, like I wanted to make sure that we had a couple of things to choose from because, there's no guarantees.
Maneater is a shark game, and it's out tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's just, can we get it downloaded enough time and get everything set up for it?
Yes.
So we'll do something after the show tomorrow. Tomorrow's also a New Music Friday.
As a matter of fact, it is.
It'll be busy. Listen all day tomorrow for your chance to win a download of the new album from Anchor and Braille called Tension. And we're actually supposed to be checking in with Steven from Anchor and Braille also.
That's the word.
Yep.
Nikki.
And then an after show, tomorrow should be a busy day.
Yeah. I love that. I love being really busy.
I think you do.
Actually, I do.
You do like that.
We're going to have a great Friday. But you know what? We're going to have a great Thursday first.
We got to get through today before then.
What's worse than the worst of the Riot? The worst of the Riot podcast. Yeah. You did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. Radio U.
What are you doing? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're celebrating. Me too. I don't know why I'm excited.
No one saw this news coming yesterday. I was quite surprised.
I'm excited. When I actually had a friend send it to me, and I was like, bro, I don't need another internet rumor, okay? Like, I live and breathe the internet rumor. I don't need another internet rumor. And it was true. So here's the deal. Justice League came out 2 years ago, 3 years ago? The movie, Justice League?
I feel like maybe 3.
3? Okay.
Feels like it's older than we remember.
It's kind of rough. Let me lay down some history here for you. You had Man of Steel and then Batman v Superman, which did financially very well, but a lot of people
critically didn't think it was the best,
right.
But it was better than other things.
So they filmed Justice League and ended up Zack Snyder's son died. So he left the project, and it was almost...
He was the director.
He was the director. It was... I haven't explained much of this. I know too much.
Those are just the details.
He directed all of those movies. And so with Justice League done, except for the special effects, with his son dying, he stepped away. And so the people at DC, Warner Brothers, they were like, hey, what are we going to do? They hired Joss Whedon, who directed the first 2 Avengers movies, and brought him in, and they were basically like, hey, give us our Avengers. So he got a huge chunk of money to go in, reshoot a ton of stuff, and finish the special effects. So what was rumored to be like a minimum 3-hour movie, et cetera, ended up getting cut to 2 hours, and the tone is very different.
Yeah.
And you know what? I actually think Justice League, the movie, is okay.
But everybody at the end was like, wait, there's this whole other movie that was still out there somewhere.
Right.
Called,
They call it the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut.
And so this Justice League Snyder Cut, and if you follow this stuff, people have been like, hashtag Snyder Cut, hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
If you follow basically Jason Momoa, he pushes it a lot, so you see it a lot.
He feels like his character's the one that really got the shaft when it comes to the Justice League cut. He says they filmed just tons of stuff that never, ever made it in. So that being said.
So there's this movie that's been out there that people want to see.
So they have announced that coming to HBO Max next year, which is owned by Warner Brothers, they are giving Snyder somewhere around $30 million to finish the special effects, and you will see the Justice League Snyder Cut released to HBO Max.
So it won't be in theaters.
It won't.
Even though I did hear yesterday that they might still get some of the cast to come back and film some more, but I don't know.
Maybe.
I think it's just special effects.
Well,
At $30 million, that's just special effects.
Yeah, but it also makes you wonder, the other rumor that was floating big time last week was that Henry Cavill was going to come back for Superman. And a lot of people have been saying that he was done. They weren't going to do anything with him anymore. But if Warner Brothers and Zack Snyder have kind of kissed and made up and whatever, and he's getting this,
maybe he will.
That might be hey, if you do this, we want another Superman movie out of it.
So it's going to be on HBO Max, but it will be next year.
Yeah, and the other rumor is, now those are facts. The rumor is they may be turning it into more like a TV series.
Oh,
so
they'll cut it up?
So they would take it, and instead of it being a movie and it's 3 hours, it ends up being a TV show that's 4 episodes or something like that.
They can get you for 4 weeks.
They can really drag it out of you.
That's something. That's not a bad idea.
Hey, I'm on board. This weekend, I got to watch a bunch of Superman stuff. It's just the way it is. And you know what? That's the sound of a man who's not sad.
He's fine with it.
I'm excited. It's weird.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on Radio U.
You know, we're going into a holiday weekend, and I feel like one of the things I want to do over this holiday weekend is I want to experience new things and go new places. Now, we know I can't go anywhere.
And there's not much probably left to experience, but maybe.
Well, Nikki, that's where you are, and I say this respectfully, a little wrong. There's still some new things out there for me to experience, like the Papadillas.
What's the Papadillas?
It's Papa John's new
it's their little
part pizza, part sandwich.
Sure.
It's a flatbread style sandwich made of original fresh dough filled with real meats, veggies, and cheese.
First off, is that what we're doing for exciting? Is that it?
You know, Nikki, there's not a lot.
There's not a lot left.
If I don't want to go get yelled at for being on the outdoor patio, but I'm too close to people, then I'll have you know, I looked seriously, really looked at camping this weekend.
Yeah, did you not find anything? Well, Memorial Day weekend is hard to find anyways, but especially since they just opened things up, I'm sure it's even harder.
Oh, dude, there is.
I saw someone who was at a cabin. Can't you go just get a cabin somewhere?
I looked at that. The only cabins that were left were the ultra mega deluxe cabins. So, you know, they sleep.
The big cabin?
They sleep 40.
Don't you think that'd be a bit excessive if it was just you?
Well, now
you'd have
you're
to get some friends. Yeah.
Now you're beginning to see the quandary.
You'd have to get some friends, which is defeat the purpose of still being physically distant.
Well, Nikki, take a look at this.
Did you do it like an Airbnb or something?
Nikki, I'm doing a Papadillas, okay?
So that's what you're doing.
That's the answer.
That's not the answer.
I went to
We can find you something else.
No.
We can find you some land.
No.
You can camp on it.
I'm going to eat. Aaron says Papa John's is a lie now that Papa John is gone. Whatever. Brands live past people. Look at McDonald's. Ray Kroc grew the McDonald's brothers business and bought it.
So what about it?
Well, they got a grilled barbecue chicken and bacon one.
Are you just looking at it? Because it's been out for a bit.
Anybody else feel minimized?
No, but I just didn't know if there's a story with it.
Anybody
or
else?
are you looking at it?
This is the story.
This is not the story. This is not the story.
I didn't know about it until last night.
That's the first time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nikki, without sports to watch, I'm not watching live TV, so I'm not seeing commercials.
He's not seeing the same ads you would normally see.
That's right. And like I said, this weekend, I'm looking for a real change of pace. I'm looking to change things up.
This is going to be it?
Oh, this is it. This is the big one. We're doing it.
All right. You know, if you went camping, you could still have pizza delivered to you.
I just feel like the support got sucked out of the room. Is Michael here?
Is Michael here?
Is he in the room?
He's our boss. He can do that.
Is he here? He's a minimizer.
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm excited. I thought that's been out for a while.
They have four varieties.
I don't see that as being the answer to what you're looking for.
Nikki, it's not. The answer is riches, fame, and travel.
Get out of the house. Just something traveling.
Anything.
All right.
I even went to the park last weekend, and when there's no place to park at the park, it's like, you know what? Just forget it.
I don't want to.
Just forget it.
It gets you frustrated.
Keep your stupid outside. I don't need it.
You're going to be fine.
I am fine. I told you.
Yes. It is.
They have a grilled barbecue chicken and bacon.
Does it have onions?
It does, but you just... Every time you get barbecue chicken, it's always onions. But
it's that red onion.
You get no onion, and then they'll be like, oh, we don't prepare them here, so we can't take the onions out.
Then you say pick it out. Just pick it out with your hands.
No, you can't do that because the flavor's already in there.
It's already been baked in.
If they can't pull the onions out, then no. So we'll see. But that is, when someone says, like, I don't even have any plans for Memorial Day, well, they're wrong.
How about you do this? What about, like you go through the drive-thrus and all your favorite places and get one item from each place?
Yeah.
Is there a term for that?
Oh, the progressive dinner?
That sort of thing. You should have that, but with pizzas, where you get a pizza from all these different places.
Crap, that sounds fantastic.
And then you do it early, like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then you have pizza the entire holiday weekend.
I love it.
And then you have it all set to deliver at the same time at your house.
And then, just in case, you just have like some Pepto on standby.
Well, you'll need that anyways.
So just like, I mean, you might not need it, but just in case.
But then that way you can get like a barbecue pizza from here, a pepperoni pizza from here, and just have it all together.
Hit up that Pizza Cottage.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They got a good barbecue chicken pizza.
So we can do more.
You know what? I haven't been to Pizza Cottage since that birthday party. So, like, it's probably time to do that, right? Man, daggone, like the fun. Woo! It's like somebody put it into drive. It was in park, but now the fun bus is driving.
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Is it?
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I mentioned as I was talking about my big Memorial Day weekend plans, Nikki got excited too. Woo!
Yay!
That we were talking about a papadillas, but one of the problems is the onions. And onions are a terrible thing, which is why
there's no way that you like any onions, right?
No.
There's not any sort of, because some people are like, well, if you prepare it this way or if you have it in this is still no from him.
You guys, okay. Can I just tell you what you said right there?
What?
Can I tell you how much I hate that? Because when you tell people that you don't like something, you always encounter somebody that's like, I'm going to get you.
Well, they want to be the one to convert you over to loving onions.
And so, you know what? My stepmom used to do that to me all the time. She would cook food and put onions in it. Now, here's what really sucks.
And not tell you?
And not tell me. And then when I found the onions in it, she would get really mad at me. Mm-hmm. And then she would act all hurt and whatever. And so, Nikki, I don't just have... His hatred
of onions goes deep.
Right. I've got emotional scarring over what was an abuse. Like, she was, back then she was mean. These days we would call her abusive.
Sure.
And so she would try to cook these onions and then get mad at me. Then at one point my dad was like, what did he offer me? I can't remember. It was like $5 or $10 if I would just eat a green onion.
Yeah.
He was like, just take a bite of it, chew it, and swallow it. And I couldn't swallow it. I was like, ugh.
So he just doesn't want it. And there's no changing that.
But all you people out there judging me, trying to sneak in your onions.
Well, maybe think of it this way. Let's not have such a negative spin on it. Think that maybe they enjoy onions so much they want you to be able to enjoy what they enjoy, and they don't realize it's not going to happen.
How about this? What if we could just accept the fact, like, I don't get mad at people for liking onions. It's fine.
Yeah, but I love onion rings so much that I would think, I bet Obi really would like onion rings, but he doesn't.
So I respect that you like onions. Please respect
onion
that
rings.
I don't. Okay?
Just onion rings.
Can you respect that I don't? It's like, your friend who's a vegan, you wouldn't keep cooking them steak and sliding it in there, would you? No, because that's like a friendship ruiner. It's an ender right there.
That is true.
Think about it like that. I'm an onion. It's not the same. I'll figure something out.
Did we get derailed, though? I think we've gotten derailed again.
Nikki, that's because that's what happens when you touch trauma.
And it opens up.
It opens up.
Oh, no.
So, you know what? Well, let's just take a minute. And
you push onions away. You don't have to think about them the rest of the morning.
Oh, no, I have a big story involving onions.
Oh, you do have a onion? Okay.
That's
then
why
you can.
That was my segue into it, but then it turned into a whole thing.
Well, think of it as, again, it's a cleansing. It's just getting it all out.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Cry your onion tears.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
Look, breakups are hard, okay? We've all been there. And if you haven't been through a bad breakup, good for you.
That's great.
We've all shed our tears. How could they not like me anymore? Or how could they do that to me? Or happy tears. I'm so glad they're gone. Whatever it is. We've all shed our tears.
You mean the relief?
But Miss Zhao, that's all we know as far as her name goes, is she's from China. And she and her boyfriend have been having a bad breakup. But as you all know, with social media,
that can't just be a private breakup.
It has to be big.
Yeah.
And so she says that her boyfriend has not cried a single tear over their breakup.
Oh, really?
And she is furious about it.
She's mad at it?
Mm-hmm. So she sent him 2,000 pounds of onions.
In like onion bags, like
big
You buy
onion
a bag of
bags.
onions at the store?
Yeah, like the big bags.
And so basically they were all delivered to his house. So there's lots of pictures all over social media as this is the guy who hasn't cried from the ex-girlfriend who's mad, and this is her thing that she's done.
Now, he says he still hasn't, cried, I guess. One of his neighbors says, and I kind of quote, just paraphrasing, she said that I've cried a lot because the entire apartment complex stinks.
Like onion. Even though I don't think you really cry too much until you start cutting the onions.
Yeah, totally.
But otherwise, it's a statement that she's making.
It is
and
a
that's
statement
it.
piece. You know what? It says to me, dude, you made the right call.
To leave the girl?
Yeah.
I don't know. You don't know him. Maybe he needs this.
No.
You sure?
I don't even like that.
Maybe he needs the onions.
What? He's a big onion eater?
Maybe
that what
it's
you
a
think?
gift in disguise.
Maybe it was a huge gift. She's like, you know what? If you like onions so much, here.
I don't want onions, but if you gave me so many of something else that I could actually use, I'd be like, thank you.
Yeah, imagine if this was rolls of toilet paper.
Oh my gosh, you'd be
to
rich.
dab the tears.
To dab the tears
to
away?
dab the tears
Where
when
you're
they
like,
come.
I could never cry over a McDonald's hamburger. And then you just get this delivery.
Yeah, there's no way I could. Like, I could never cry over 2,000 chicken McNuggets.
Or like chicken fingers with dipping sauce. The dipping sauce is really important.
That's the only way I'm going to cry.
And then you get the perfect delivery.
Yeah. So,
Aw, well, it's weird when a private thing becomes public.
yeah. And I get it. Like, she wants people shaming him. That's what this is about.
Sure.
She wants to publicly shame him. But, I mean, think of all the money she just spent on that guy. You know what? I always feel like in the breakup, if you're able to show that you don't care and it doesn't hurt you, but the other person is like, I'm so hurt, I feel like you're winning.
But what if onions are like really inexpensive and it's not as big of a deal as you think?
I don't know.
Maybe it's just not a very expensive statement.
So, but the other side of it is with public perception is that what she's trying to do is she's had a very public I'm so sad breakup.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to make him look heartless so that she's the victim in all of this. And so he just needs to play it so that he's the victim of like, you guys don't even know what I've been through.
Sure. And he needs to donate the onions
to a soup kitchen.
Exactly.
And just be like, you know what? And
he has no further comment because he doesn't want to talk bad about her.
Right. You know, I don't
He'll
want
come out of this
I don't want
looking
to
great.
comment any further on these personal issues, but I wish her the best. And I went ahead and donated these to an onion charity.
Don't know what that is, but I bet there's something.
It's out there.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Estero, Florida. So Bass Pro Shop there in Estero had a real big aquarium.
So have you ever been to a pro shop or like a Cabela's, which I think they own each other, and then a few other places like that? There usually is a giant aquarium in the middle of the store.
Yeah.
Usually around the taxidermy mountains that they tend to also have.
Also that.
So the aquarium usually has fish and you can look in at them.
All right. Well, they had somebody, I believe it was on Saturday, that jumped into the tank, went for a little swim. And you know what? Like, I get that they can't have everybody doing that, but it is kind of a whatever.
Could be a contest, win the chance.
Win the chance to jump in the tank.
So he did it, but did he get away before they could catch him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So he dives in, he swims around a while, and then he gets out. You can see the video of it if you care to see it. So Bass Pro Shop has made a big deal about it, saying that it's going to cost them $3,000 to decontaminate the aquarium for the marine life and fish species that live there.
I don't know about that one.
So
it's not like it's got exotic fish in it. It's got what I always thought would be just pretty generic fish.
Probably some bass.
Yeah, something like that. You know, like lake fish.
So the perpetrator has come forward. His name is Daniel Armendariz, and he put something of a rant on Facebook, basically saying, yes, I did it, and I am tired of people treating me like I am some kind of criminal. He says that he's been breeding fish for 9 years, and this idea that it's going to cost $3,000 is a bunch of horse manure.
Oh, I see.
and that he is tired of hearing about it, and that he'll come to the police and turn himself in.
There had been a $3,000 reward for him. He's not been arrested yet, but they do know that he's the person. And I know, he might not want to recognize this, but if they have a rule that you're not supposed to get into the tank and you break the rule, then that does make you a rule breaker.
Well,
is that also known as the criminal?
Well, the interesting thing about this, though, and now keep in mind that I don't necessarily know, is this a criminal complaint?
Or like a
or is
local
it a
smaller
civil
one?
complaint?
I don't know.
That would be my question, because a criminal complaint is you broke the law. A civil complaint is that you did something that caused some kind of financial harm, even though a law was not necessarily broken.
I don't know. Maybe there's some law somewhere about fish tanks. Not sure.
Don't jump in the fish tank.
So they plan to arrest him.
Call the cops
for
on him.
damages done to the tank later on. I think it's not the law that he broke of jumping into the tank. It's whatever damages he would have done to the fish or to the tank that could get him criminal stuff.
Yeah. So really, the funny thing is, they're like, you hurt our fish. I'd be afraid of what the fish might do to me if I jumped in there.
I wouldn't want to go in there, but the diver told them in the confession video that he made for Facebook that he would turn himself in when he was ready.
Yeah. He hasn't done that yet.
Well, he's not ready yet.
Hey, sometimes it takes a little time to get ready to turn yourself over to the police. Believe me, I know.
I also didn't think you get a choice of the matter when that happens. It might be nice enough to give you a day or two, but then you got to do it.
You got to go over there. Think the police really want to get this guy?
Probably.
They want to bust the perp?
Well, this one's an easy one. They found him. Just bring him in.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
How do you take a hoodie, which is already obscenely expensive, and just jack the price into the stratosphere? One word: smart.
It's a smart hoodie?
It's a smart hoodie, Nikki.
What are they going to do?
Well, we don't actually have the smart hoodie yet, but Google is currently working with some peoples, and what they have come up with is a smart hoodie drawstring. So, the actual string that's in the hood.
The thing I normally try to rip out of it because it feels like it's choking me.
Well, this is going to be the pricey part, Nikki.
I should keep it in.
They're working on cloth, a wearable fiber, which will feature a helical sensing matrix. And so you will be able to, let's say you've got your phone in your pocket and you're listening to music through I'm sure they would like your Google whatever headphones. You'll just grab your hoodie, which is connected to your phone, and depending on how you grab it or where you touch it.
The hoodie or the drawstring?
The drawstring.
The drawstring.
The cord this is amazing. It'll have a fiber optic cable in it, so it'll light up where you're touching it, and you'll be able to, let's say, turn the volume up, or skip the song, or answer a call, or activate your, basically the kind of stuff that you're doing right now on a headphone wire.
Yeah.
If you're still using wires. But it'll be able to
Built
do that,
into the
and it'll just
drawstring?
be built into your hoodie.
Yeah, okay. I could see maybe this working.
The future.
I know. This is what it looks like, guys. You got to keep the drawstring in and wear the hoodies.
So this way, if you would, let's say, leave your phone behind or something, the government can still listen to your conversations.
Through the hoodie.
So your hoodie is listening to you.
Can you put the hood up and then answer the call within the hood?
I love that. I love that.
And then someone walks by and oh, he's in a call.
He's got his hood up. Don't bother him.
Don't bother him. He's talking to somebody.
Yeah. And then they'll have signs at the gas station. You have to hang up on your phone before you
go in, yeah.
Which we all know that's a joke. Nobody's making phone calls on their phone.
That's the problem. At least from these things, I'm not as interested because I don't answer phone calls unless I have to.
Yeah, but you listen to stuff.
So I do, but I have it in my, wear my AirPods. And if I want to change the song, I still just tap the button or just let it go through the playlist. I know.
Gosh, talk about living in the past.
And then I know this thing will be expensive, and I'm sure it'll last. Your hoodie will look so brand new after just a few washes.
This is always the kind of stuff that I look at, and I'm curious to see if it will take off. Because I won't buy the first one or probably even the second one. But by the time you get to the place where when, you just go buy a hoodie and it's built into it, great. Whatever. It's fine. I'm already paying $500 million for a hoodie at a show.
This does feel like step one in a process to where you might, in your everyday clothes by step 10, have them just built in already. But they got to start with this.
So this cord supports many interactions: flicking, grabbing, patting, pinching, sliding your fingers up and down, swiping, twisting, tapping.
Andy wanted to know, is it safe to wash this thing? Well, I'm sure they would.
Don't know the answer.
I'm sure they would have that be possible to wash.
You'd have to be able to do something with it, right? It's a fascinating idea. Again, not saying that it's for today, but, someday down the line.
A Google Smart Hoodie.
Sure. Why not? That's what I need. That's what's pushing technology forward.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I'm looking at an article here. Little Richard, who you may or may not know who he is. He's a musician. He calls himself the architect of rock and roll, or he did. He died last week, I believe. Mm-hmm. So they've just announced where he's going to be buried, and that is at Oakwood University.
Is that where he went?
It is. But what? You get buried at college?
Well, maybe it was like a passion thing with him. Maybe that's where he wanted to be buried.
Okay. I thought about that. Like, maybe he wants to be buried there. And then I imagine the phone call that I make as I'm making arrangements for my final resting place. Beep, boop, boop. Hello, Mount Vernon Nazarene University. Obadiah here. I'll be dying sometime in the next 70 years. And
would you mind?
I would like to reserve a spot to be buried there.
Now, is he actually being buried there? Was
yes,
he having
I'll hold.
Was he having a monument or like a statue?
His body, what's left of it,
is there
in the ground.
I guess that is kind of awkward, but
do they have a thing where this must be like what the rich and famous, like Nick Cage? He's going to be buried in a pyramid. He has a pyramid.
Yeah, he has one of the small pyramid things.
Me, I'm just hoping that they don't feed me to something. I figure they'll burn me up and scatter the ashes.
Hey, this sounds way less weird than the pyramid funeral thing.
No, I'll give you that. Because, at least there's some precedent.
Yeah.
Like, so-and-so is buried here.
Maybe he went to the school and, loves the school and gives money and, he was a part of it. And so that he feels like one with the school and the students, and they put it there.
Yes, all that's true. He did go to that school. It is a historically black college, and at a time when African Americans had a hard time getting to college, it was a place where he was educated. I'm not in any way, taking away from that. But what I'm saying is that down here on ground level, for the normies, the idea of me being like, I think I'll be buried at my college. Ooh, you know what? Put me under the foundation of the new library.
I don't know. I saw pictures of it, but even the funeral itself, because it depends on where you're at. So I don't know about Alabama, where the school is.
Yeah.
But they were all together and all hugging on each other. I was I didn't think we were supposed to do that either. It seemed different.
Well, Nikki, social distancing, I can,
even
for
at
real,
funerals, you're supposed to do that.
Whatever. If somebody I love dies, I'm going to be slobbering and crying and hugging
but now,
everybody.
For most states, still, you weren't allowed to have funerals unless it was 10 people and under.
Well, you know what? You have it at the college, and then it's educational.
It's educational.
I don't know. I'm just amazed at the idea of me just being like, yes, I'll be buried. You know what? I'm actually going to be buried at RadioU.
Yeah, we'll put you out there.
Right out there.
That does seem more fitting for us than the schools we went to.
It's fair. But yeah, actually, that's a great idea. I want to talk to the board and the owners and the staff about, where I want to reserve my spot.
Honestly, we've got that old satellite dish out there. We could just use something around that area.
That's not a bad idea.
We could, put a little thing there if you want.
I thought somebody wanted that. Were they lying?
It
didn't work out.
It's such an expensive thing, and it's such a, you ever have something you want to sell, but it's so specific to someone.
Or it's so big it's hard to move.
Well, yeah.
Like my big chair.
Yeah, we have an old satellite dish, and you're like, one of the dish ones? No, it's like the size of I don't know.
It's huge.
A building.
Internet killed the satellite dish. Internet killed.
Well, if anybody wants to buy that for their future funeral plans.
Dude, you could buy... Okay, we'll cremate me and we'll pour me in the base of the satellite dish.
I don't want to think about these things.
Well, look, I'm just telling you.
We don't need to plan.
If you fail to plan.
I don't mind just not planning this.
Then how are you going to get buried at the college, Nikki?
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously. This is The Riot on Radio U.
I realize it's been like 15 minutes since we played it, but I've been thinking a lot about that Rusty Ship song this morning, Show Me How to Live. A lot of times that is the conversation that I have with God as I'm asking him, like, man, Jesus, would you just show me how to live? Especially as an adult, because like once you graduate, in a lot of ways, you really are free to kind of do whatever you want. I mean, depending, like, do you have student loan debt? Do you need a place to live? I know there's a lot of room in there to argue about how free you actually are to do what you want.
But it's your choice at that point.
Right. But you've kind of been given a life and you got to figure out what to do with it. And it's interesting, too. I really think that you should get to know God for yourself because of this. A lot of times when people take their experience with God and then they boil it down and hand it off to you, it ends up turning into this like system of rules. So like, let's say, for example, God tells me not to steal. And, that's good. Like, that's pretty much a good thing. But then it turns into somebody else is like, God said not to steal. So it'd be best if we don't even borrow anymore. And pretty soon it's like, it'd be best if we just didn't own anything. And, it just like, it gets like kind of boiled down and weirded out over time. And so that's why you really want to get to know God for yourself, because one of the great things about Jesus is that he said, look, there's not going to be anything between you and God. You get to know God for yourself. His spirit is going to come and live in your heart. So you don't need Obadiah to tell you how to live. You don't need somebody down the street. You don't need the TV preacher. You don't need like whatever. I'm not saying any of those things are bad. Like, I go to church, I watch TV, whatever, But at the end of the day, God is the one that I'm following. In my relationship with Jesus, he is showing me how to live. So if Obadiah does something and you're like, oh, God, I don't think so, right? You talk to God about it, and you don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like Nikki. It's between you and Jesus and how you're going to live your life. And it's the way to go. All right. I'm just going to stop there. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I'm just going to tell you that if you want to know not a religion, but a relationship with God, the living God who wants to be a part of your life, just say, God, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your Holy Spirit. I want to have a relationship with you. Boom. That's where you start. Now start talking to God. Ask him, hey, it's Thursday. Show me what to do with it. He'll show you some things.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
What were we talking about?
Well, you'd given a couple of options.
I did, didn't I?
You did.
I think that I love the idea of marriage.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to get married. Why? I don't know. It's just built into us, right? Like, find that special someone and then lock it down.
And after the quarantine stuff, you're either desperately wanting to be back with that person, so you want to be married, or you can't stand them anymore and you just don't. And that's decided it.
Exactly that. So there is a guy here who he was trying to come up with a way to propose. And man, isn't that a thing? Like, it's hard now. You can't even just ask somebody to prom. It has to be elaborate. Well, wedding proposals are the same way. How Insta-worthy is your wedding proposal, right? Well, this guy, he came up with what he thought was...
This is so weird.
...a romantic idea. So
he made breakfast.
He made breakfast for his girlfriend, and he made some pancakes and eggs, and on the pancakes, he used jelly or something and put in the words, "Will you marry me?"
Uh-huh.
And then he made her 5 pieces of Link sausage And then on what would be the ring finger of this sausage hand that he made, he put an engagement ring.
Well, he put a pancake with his sausage fingers coming out of it.
So it looks like a hand.
Or kind of like a turkey, actually, to me.
I see the turkey.
And then he put the ring on the sausage. And did she say yes or?
Yeah. Yes, he did. It's his great grandmother's ring. It was her birthday. So she was excited about it. She posted about it, and the internet kind of blew back at her.
One woman said, I didn't think it was that bad until I looked at another photo, and it looked like a cadaver hand. And I said, I also couldn't marry someone who eats their eggs that well done, because the eggs were on another plate, and they were kind of more like an omelet, kind of like burnt a little.
Do you consider those eggs to be too burnt?
They got a layer on them.
Yeah.
They do.
I'd still eat those eggs.
You could have taken them off just a tiny bit sooner, but
I agree with you.
The person was busy, with the proposal. Surprised he got anything out.
Probably terrified. Or maybe not. Maybe he knew what was going to happen, but I don't know. Like, you know what? I think what it comes down to is at the end of the day is maybe the person that's proposing and not what a good job they do with the actual proposal.
Well, it's between them because you never know. Like maybe they love breakfast and stuff. Like that's their thing.
Maybe they do breakfast every Saturday.
Yeah, and then like to propose that way means more. But this got shared on a wedding shaming Facebook group, and it kind of went from there, and that's where it kind of grew. So people are kind of shaming it more than
that's too bad.
Saying how nice it was.
The internet's kind of mean. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I had some friends. They did a baby gender reveal thing, and it was, it wasn't the most amazing thing ever, but they were my friends, and I was like, haha, that was funny, good for them, they're having a girl, whatever. But it got picked up on some Instagram whatever, and they got thousands of people talking about how stupid their gender reveal was, and it was
it's like, guys.
Yikes.
Jeez.
Wow.
Basically,
they really should have hired a producer, huh?
You really don't want to be picked up by anything,
yeah.
Whether it's a Facebook group or a Reddit forum. You don't want anybody to catch on to what you've done.
Boy, you really don't.
Because then it'll just ruin it. But good for them. If that's what they liked, then that's good.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm not looking for somebody to, propose to me, but I would love to have some of this breakfast.
Hey, can we propose breakfast?
I'd like to propose breakfast.
We'll get on that one.
I'd like to propose some Link sausage.
I'll take
along
a sausage
with
hand.
Some eggs and perhaps some pancakes.
We wouldn't say no to that.
Now, that's a proposal I can get behind.
There's no shaming on just breakfast.
Oh, I'm hungry.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
How's the hand sanitizer looking in your life right now?
You have enough?
Do you have enough? Is it hard to get?
Well, I think certain types probably still are. Because I know we have to have it in our studio and in our building since, we're still working here.
Rules.
Yeah, it's rules. You have to have it provided. So I think it is still somewhat difficult to find. Maybe not the glitter one, or one that might not be all sanitizing like you want it to be. But the official stuff, I think, is.
Oh, actually, Nikki, I would think the glitter would be even better. Because then...
It's like an exfoliant?
Well, and the virus will stick to the glitter and then it'll fall off.
Maybe.
Instead of it just attaching to your hand, it hits the glitter and then poof.
Yeah, but it's been hard to find.
It has been. Well...
It went from, I think, impossible to now it's just hard to find.
So kind of like toilet paper.
Yeah.
Well,
now toilet paper's
kind of everywhere, right?
It's fine now, but you just never know. Just never know.
Nikki has what she calls the strategic stash these days.
You should always have an extra, is it a bag or is it a whatever, an extra thing or two of toilet paper.
SSTP, strategic stash toilet paper.
Not a roll, but the whole thing. An extra one or two of those, just in case.
So Dr. Greg Boyce of Florida Gold Coast University has said, hey, you shouldn't leave your hand sanitizer in your car on a hot day.
I actually think this is good to learn because I know a lot of people hang their hand sanitizer or keep it in their car so that they have it always with them.
It says here that the hot temperatures could make some of the alcohol in your hand sanitizer evaporate, which that's
actually what you need.
That's what's doing a lot of the heavy lifting when you're trying to get your hands clean. So you don't want that to happen. Stop bad-mouthing the glitter.
Hey, and you can't just like re-add the alcohol back into it. So you should not keep it in your car.
No, I heard this one guy on this one YouTube video saw this other guy who one time made hand sanitizer out of vodka.
No,
that's what I heard.
It's wrong, and it's not like you can do that. It doesn't really work that way.
And he says also that evaporating alcohol is not good for the interior of your car.
See, I think this is actually good to learn.
So now we know. Also, he says theoretically it could blow up. Is that true?
Maybe if it got hot enough.
I guess. He didn't say that. Somebody else did. But that's just something to be aware of. If you're somewhere where you're going to have a hot day, you may not want to leave your hand sanitizer in there. Plus, passing ruffians concerned about their health may break into your car and steal your hand sanitizer.
Might just take it. Well, no, not that we now know, so we wouldn't bother because it wouldn't be the hand sanitizer that would do any good.
So you're saying you leave it in the car, and somebody's like, I want to break in and get that. You know what? It's over 80 degrees.
It's not going to work anymore. I
don't want that. If I'm going to steal some hand sanitizer, I'm going to need the good stuff.
Well, keep it on you or put it in your bag would probably be the best thing.
Yeah. Okay. That way, you can sanitize all the time.
On the go.
Thanks, Nikki.
You're welcome.
Sanitize on the go with this all-new RIOT sanitizer.
You're listening to the worst of the Riot, Radio U.
I don't know if it's the first game that they've ever had, but Amazon Studios just launched a video game.
Really?
Amazon just made a video game.
Well, Amazon, it owns Twitch. And so it is in the gaming world.
It is. Well, they actually, there was a time, what did they release? They have a controller for like the Amazon Fire Cube and a few other things because you can play a lot of Android games on some of Amazon's Fire devices.
Sure.
So a lot of people thought for a while they were going to make their own console to compete with like an Xbox or a PlayStation. But so far, no. But this game, it's called Crucible. And it is available on Steam. So right now you can only play it on the PC, as I understand it.
And it's free to play.
Yeah, it's free to play. Third-person shooter. And you'll earn 1,000 in-game credits for free if you play between now and June 1st.
Should I get Amazon gift card?
No.
I'm sure not.
But it'll let you buy probably a purple skin for your gun. Or something like that.
You gonna try it on Steam?
Yeah. You know what? Probably not. It's 4v4 battle mode. Giant boss hives that spawn through the world while the alpha hunters, 8 teams of 2 against each other. Blah blah blah.
Doesn't sound entertaining.
You know what? I'm just not a big multiplayer gamer. I have a tendency to prefer like a single player open world or some co-op kind of stuff. But when it comes to like versus combat, I am, well, you know what? I work a lot, and I don't really have the time.
You want to make sure that you really hit the game you want
to dedicate.
At the time.
So a lot of times when I get into PvP stuff, it's me like, I'm playing dead. I am playing dead. I'm playing dead. After a while, you're like, you know what? I just go back here where it's stupid.
Well, you mentioned they're doing Heart of the Hives, Battle Mode, Alpha Hunters, Harvest Command. So they're different type of modes for it. And they kicked off an 8-week preseason period for the game. So then you can learn skills and before season 1 actually starts. And then you get the credits at that time to use in the game.
Mm-hmm. So I'm out. But you know what, you guys, though?
Let us know if you like it.
Why don't you give it a shot and let me know what you think of this?
You report back to Obi, all right?
Yeah.
And tell him how Crucible is.
I'll tell you how... let me find something wimpy and single player.
You're doing the Blues Brothers reissue Blu-ray. Or no, the 4K one.
Nobody cares about that.
Oh, I'm sure they want to hear.
I do, but that's not a thing.
You'll watch that, and then they play the game, and you guys get together, and you can help each other out.
Tomorrow, you can watch Nikki and I hopefully playing Man-Eater.
That's a new game out tomorrow.
So look for that on our Facebook page. We'll be streaming. And yes, guys, I'll just be offering commentary. Nikki's going to be doing most of the heavy lifting.
It's a game where you're a shark.
She's going to be eating people as a shark. And you know what? We feel no shame.
No, I think we can share the time.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
You live in the poop house now.